Welcome to Spiritual Insights, where we open you up to embrace your soul. Have you ever pondered over the sanctity of your own soul? This is more than just question. It's an invitation to embark on a voyage of introspection and understanding. The human soul, our core essence, the driving force behind our thoughts, emotions, and actions. A subject of endless philosophical, spiritual, and scientific explorations, the soul remains an enigmatic aspect of our existence. What makes the soul often viewed as sacred? Its role as the divine spark within us, a link to the cosmos, and a symbol of our individuality. Viewed as an eternal entity, the soul transcends the physical realm, encapsulating our consciousness, our morality, indeed, our very humanity. But what exactly is the soul? This is where the discussion becomes complex. Different philosophical standpoints offer various interpretations. Consider, for example, advocating that the mind and body are distinct entities. Within this perspective, the soul is to the mind, an ethereal existence independent of our physical form. This viewpoint, supported by philosophers like Descartes, implies that the soul is an undying entity, persisting even after bodily death. Conversely, monism suggests that the mind and body are two aspects of a single entity. In this context, the soul isn't separate from our physical existence, but a fundamental part of it, influenced by and influencing our tangible experiences. These contrasting theories emphasize the complexity and detail of the concept of the soul, triggering questions and debates that have endured for centuries and persist today. Indeed, the human soul is a convoluted and intriguing notion, shrouded in mystery and igniting infinite discussions. Maybe it's this very enigma, the unfathomable depth and sacredness of the soul, that defines our humanity, propelling us to seek meaning, to delve into the unknown, to yearn for understanding. And perhaps, this is what makes the journey so incredibly captivating. One of the most ancient perspectives on the human soul is dualism. This philosophy has been a cornerstone in understanding the human soul for centuries, tracing its roots back to the likes of Plato and Aristotle. Dualism proposes a fascinating concept, that our body and soul are two separate entities. It's like an intricate dance of the physical and the metaphysical, the material and the immaterial. The body, a tangible and mortal vessel, contrasted by the soul, an intangible and immortal essence. Dualism suggests that while our bodies are confined to the physical world, our souls transcend it, reaching into the realm of the spiritual. One of the most prominent proponents of dualism was French philosopher René Descartes. He argued that the mind, or the soul, is distinct from the body. He proposed that while the body is spatially extended and subject to the laws of physics, the mind or soul is not. It's a non-physical entity that cannot be divided, measured, or weighed. Descartes famously illustrated this concept with his assertion, "I think, therefore I am." By this he meant that our ability to doubt, to think, and to understand is proof of our existence beyond the physical. This process of thinking and understanding, he argued, is the work of the soul, separate from the body. Dualism has had a profound impact on how we understand the human soul. It paints the soul as an independent entity, a beacon of individuality and consciousness that exists beyond our physical being. This philosophy offers a perspective that allows us to perceive the soul as more than just a concept, but a real, separate entity that defines who we are. But dualism is not without its critics. Many argue that it's difficult to explain how two fundamentally different substances, the physical body and the non-physical soul, could interact. Yet despite these debates, dualism continues to shape our understanding of the soul. Dualism, therefore, offers a unique lens through which to view the human soul, painting it as an independent entity that transcends the physical. On the other side of the spectrum, we find monism. Monism is a philosophical perspective that proposes a fascinating view of the human soul. Unlike dualism, which sees the soul and body as two distinct entities, monism insists that they are one and the same. In this worldview, the spiritual and the physical are not separate, but rather, they are two aspects of a single unified reality. Key philosophers have been instrumental in propagating this philosophy. Among them, Baruch Spinoza, a 17th-century Dutch philosopher, stands out. For Spinoza, everything that exists is part of a single, all-encompassing reality which he referred to as God or nature. According to him, body and soul are two modes of the same substance. This idea, also known as substance monism, suggests that our physical existence is just as sacred and significant as our spiritual essence. Spinoza's contemporary, Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, offered a slightly different perspective, one he called monadology. Leibniz proposed that the universe is made up of an infinite number of simple substances, or monads. Each monad, he believed, is a unique, self-contained entity that reflects the entire universe in its own way. In Leibniz's view, our bodies and souls are not separate elements, but rather, they are expressions of these monads, again reinforcing the oneness of the physical and the spiritual. It's important to note, though, that monism is not a monolithic concept. It too has its variations. Some monists, like the materialists, argue that everything is matter, including what we consider as the soul. Others, like the idealists, posit the reverse. Everything, including matter, is ultimately mental or spiritual. Despite these differences, all forms of monism share a common thread: the insistence on the unity of body and soul. They propose that our physical existence is not separate from, but rather, is intrinsically connected with our spiritual essence. Monism, thus, provides a contrasting perspective, insisting on the intertwined nature of the physical and the spiritual. Regardless of these differing views, the sacredness of the human soul remains a common thread. In the grand tapestry of philosophies and belief systems, the soul is considered sacred. But why is it so? What makes this intangible part of us hold such an elevated status? Across cultures and religions, the soul is often referred to as the divine spark within us. It's seen as an eternal entity, untouched by the physical world's decay, and hence, holds an inherent sanctity. It's like a sacred flame that continues to burn, guiding us through the labyrinth of life. But perhaps the sacredness of the soul is not just about its divine origin or eternal nature, it's also about the soul's potential for growth. Every experience, every interaction, every decision we make allows our soul to evolve, to learn, and to become a better version of itself. This journey of growth and evolution is a sacred process, a testament to the soul's resilience and adaptability. Moreover, the soul is the seat of our emotions: love, compassion, empathy, and understanding. These feelings elevate us, making us more than just biological entities. They bind us together, fostering connections that transcend physical boundaries. This capacity to love and understand, to feel empathy and compassion, is a divine gift. It brings forth the beauty of our shared human experience, adding to the sacredness of the soul. Finally, the soul plays a pivotal role in our moral and ethical decision-making. It acts as our moral compass, guiding us through the murky waters of right and wrong. This ability to discern, to choose goodness over evil, further underscores the sacredness of the soul. It reminds us that we are more than just creatures of instinct. We are beings capable of moral reasoning, of making choices that reflect our innermost beliefs and values. The sacredness of the soul, therefore, lies in its immense potential and its fundamental role in our human experience. So, where does this leave us in our understanding of the human soul? We've embarked on a journey, traversing the landscape of philosophical thought and human consciousness. We've explored the enigma of the human soul, a concept as elusive as it is profound. The soul, an intangible essence that seems to permeate our very being, has been the subject of our discourse. We've delved into the realm of dualism, the philosophical view that posits the existence of the soul as distinct from the physical body. This view, held by many spiritual and religious traditions, sees the soul as an immortal entity, unbound by earthly constraints, transcending life and death. We've also stepped into the world of monism, the belief that the soul and body are not separate entities but rather different aspects of the same reality. This perspective, often associated with Eastern philosophies, suggests that the soul is not an independent entity but is inextricably linked to the physical world. We've then pondered on the sacredness of the soul, a concept that is universal across cultures and belief systems. Regardless of our philosophical leanings, the soul is often viewed as the core of our being, the repository of our true self, our hopes, dreams, and aspirations. The sacredness of the soul underscores our inherent worth as individuals, our unique potential, and our capacity for growth, transformation, and transcendence. Yet, the soul remains a mystery, a complex and multifaceted concept that defies easy categorization or definition. Despite our best efforts to understand it, to pin it down, the soul through our grasp, always just out of reach, its true nature hidden in the shadows of our understanding. While the true nature of the human soul may continue to elude us, its sacredness remains undisputed, a testament to our profound potential as human beings. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the enigma of the human soul, and wish to unravel more such fascinating aspects of our existence, Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned and join us in this journey of exploration and discovery.